feels
I'm
like
not
you're
trying to
make a
cite
slight
Bam.
of it,
I'm not being
you know?
disrespectful to Bam. It's just Wemby's fucking
it's
all world.
Well, Wemby's 20. His IQ was just gonna be.
And Wemby's already in top 3 convos.
With what?
In the world.
Oh, you mean like best player?
He's that fucking great.
With who?
He's not in that
He's not in top 3
conversation.
convos.
Top three.
You
Top
made that. You said that, not him.
When Wemby is
Top 10 for
arguably
sure.
already the best two-way in the
He's
game.
not in top 3 conversation. You don't get into top 3
Is
conversation.
Wemby not the best two-way player in the league?
Drew.
Is he the best two-way player in the league?
Don't,
Yes or no?
Drew. You don't get in the top 3 conversations.
Who's the best defender right now?
Because of 20 games.
And
you don't.
offensively,
You don't get into a
I'm
Joker
wrong to say
conversation.
that-
Top 10.
Who's a
Top
better
3 is
two-way
crazy.
player? Giannis is a better two-way player than Wemby.
Is he right now?
Yes.
Right now?
I think
Yes.
so.
Fucking serious?
Is he better than him two-way?
Yes, he
In
is.
defensive impact, it is comfortably
Two-way player.
Comfortably
what does
Wemby.
a
Giannis
two-way
is a
player
much
mean?
better
Offensively,
passer. It's not even close.
much better. Yeah, Wemby's still a great passer.
You give great to
He
everybody
is
that
a
can
great
just make
passer.
a pass to an
That's
open
not even
player.
true. That's
What are
not
you
even
talking
true.
about?
He's a good passer.
He is
He's a good passer.
he's a really good passer.
He's not Giannis.
Oh, he's not.
He's not.
I don't know. I don't know.
You're disrespecting Giannis.
I'm
Giannis
not.
is having-
I've been-
No,
I'm
this is why we
disrespecting
say you're
Giannis.
glazing Wemby.
I'm not.
You are.
I'm not. He's one of the
on
most
Giannis
efficient.
Drew.
He's one of the most efficient scorers at the basket.
So
and
is
he can
Giannis.
also,
Drew,
of course,
if he's a
because
better
that's all-
two-way player than Giannis, he's the best player in the world.
he got a seat at the table.
No, he
Fuck,
doesn't.
He's got a seat at the table.
Because of 25 games? He's at the seat with Joker?
That's wrong. Because all of last season,
didn't
too,
put
and
it- he
especially in the
wasn't
second
at the table
half,
last
I
year.
had him top 11 coming into the season. You said I was an idiot.
You didn't
now
have-
we're
but now-
talking
now
about him
he's-
as the
no.
best two-way player in the league.
Now you're a
I'm not
you're a
wrong.
Glazer.
He
You're
is.
a Glazer.
He
I can't
has
have this
the
conversation.
biggest defensive impact in the NBA. He is
Based off what
already
metric?
one of. What do you mean?
What metric?
Go look at defensive rating. Go look at shot blocks. Go
Defensive
watch a
rating.
basketball game.
Shot block. You see what we're
Defensive
doing?
impact.
We're back at shot blocking.
Again, watch the game. Everything defense. He is one of the
I
most.
just feel like
He's the best
his-
offensive
And
player in the league?
offensively, no. Best offensive player in the league is Jokic. That is not even
Luka's a
close.
Is he
better
better than
offensive
Luka?
player than
Fair, agreed.
Is he better than
SGA
Luka?
too.
As a player,
Is he better than Luka?
I would take Wemby.
Is he better than
You
SGA?
take offensive.
I would take SGA. I would take Wemby. Excuse me.
He's better than Tatum.
I would take Wemby.
He's better than.
I'll tell you what. The two-way play. It's Giannis. It's Tatum. It's Wemby. But if we're being completely honest, the defense goes
Tatum
to
over
Wemby.
AD?
Yeah,
Two-way? Stop.
AD's at that table too.
he is. But the playmaking in Tatum has been
respect
incredible.
to Tatum because he's a wing. He's not in that conversation. He's a tier under.
Tatum's playmaking makes me think about it a lot.
Victor Wembanyama is a phenomenal talent, and if we're talking about
If you're the
building
best
a
two-way player, you have a
franchise
seat at the
around
table.
somebody with Wemby's potential, yes, there are very few players in the history of the game that look like Wemby. But when we're having these conversations, we just can't discount the body of work that all these players have had and the time that they've put into their craft. Giannis Antetokounmpo has won MVP and Defensive Player of the Year. He's won Defensive Player of the Year multiple times. He's been a multiple time MVP.
But if it's the case,
He's
then
already
LeBron's still the best in the world.
He's already.
We can't do
no,
that.
No, but LeBron is 40. Giannis is in his prime.
Agreed.
Jokic is in his
and
prime.
Giannis is not nowhere near that. Wemby, excuse me, is nowhere near that. But even still,
Giannis-
we're probably looking at the best two-way in the game.
Giannis went to the NBA Finals. He won.
Offensively, who's better?
He dropped 50 in Game 6.
Between Victor and Giannis, who's better offensive player?
Giannis is better.
What is he better at?
He's a better ball
better at
handler. He's a
driving.
better passer. He's a
ball
better finisher.
handler?
This year, he's a better mid-range shooter.
Okay, the mid-range?
Passer,
He's moving me. But as a
finisher,
shooter, come on.
Post-up player,
Playmaker.
Finishing at the basket, Wemby's still been one of the most efficient
Outside of
in the
shooting
game.
threes, there's nothing that
don't think
Wemby is
Wemby
better
has
at
the
than
same amount of
Giannis offensively.
Handling the ball, Wemby is a better hit ball
I don't think
handler than
Wemby
he
has the
is.
same amount of attempts as Giannis.
And
at the
you
rim.
guys really are disrespecting Wemby's passing.
No, you're
No,
disrespecting
you're disrespecting
Giannis.
all
I'm
these
not.
guys.
I'm
You're
not.
disrespecting the
I've been
top
very
three.
vocal on Giannis' passing.
Giannis is to you the best power forward in the history of the NBA.
No.
Who's the best power forward to
Tim Duncan.
you? So Giannis to you is number 2.
Yeah.
You almost gave me a
2-3.
stroke.
Giannis is right now at the peak of his powers. Would you not say right now this regular season is, if not one of the best regular seasons he's had in his career?
sure.
And Wemby's better than that?
It's pretty fucking close, man.
No, it's not.
Because defensively, I'm watching.
So why
a
isn't Wemby in the
superhuman.
MVP conversation?
He is.
He's in the MVP conversation.
Right now, he's 6. Right now, he's 6 on the NBA ladder. Go
Go
watch.
asking you.
Oh, he's in the conversation for sure.
Is he in like the 14th?
Look at what the defense has jumped from last year to this year. You guys want a defensive rating, you got it.
I don't know.
You guys want results too. We watch what they
They're
do
not
on a night in
winning.
night out basis.
They're not winning.
But it's not like they're bottom feeders.
I think
What are-
Wemby
what's
I mean, they're a
has.
bottom 5 seed.
What's their record?
I'm about to tell you right now.
I think
Think they're a
Wemby has
couple
put
games under
himself
500?
I
in
think so.
top 6 talks because you have the old players that are kind of getting washed away that
He's
you
better than
take
KD.
Wemby over.
Yes.
I think Wemby right now,
They're the
I would
11th.
take him over Kevin Durant. even with Anthony Edwards before the
It's
season.
Giannis. It's Jokic. It's Wemby.
We're
you're
not
not
just
taking
going to
him over
disrespect
I'm
Luka and
taking
SGA
Wemby
like that.
over Luka because the defense is otherworldly.
That's an offensive generational player.
And Wemby
This
has
is-
been
this is- no, wait, Drew,
an
Drew.
unbelievable offensive
Do
talent.
you know what Luka is in the playoffs?
He's a god.
So then why are you? Can we at least wait to see the playoffs for you to take him over?
I know
somebody
what I'm watching.
You know, but you know fucker. You know what you're
I know
watching.
what I'm
you
watching.
already have the background and the information of what Luka is in the playoffs.
I
This
know
is
what
why
I'm
we
watching.
say you're glazing.
Riv,
This doesn't
I
even
know
make
what I'm
sense.
watching.
Riv.
It doesn't even make
No,
sense.
it makes
You
sense
have no
when you're the
statistical evidence of
He,
this.
as
You
a
don't.
rookie, finished second in DPOY. As a
I don't
rookie,
give a fuck about
in
that.
year.
Tim Duncan doesn't have those. I don't care about that.
Okay.
I don't. Let's keep
So,
that
Rick,
out of it.
You know
Let's
what's
talk-
you know
let's
what's
keep
really
that outta
getting
here.
me? You're
Let's keep that
talking
outta
like you
here.
don't watch Wemby. That's what I'm talking about.
You put him over Luka.
Because you're
What the fuck?
because what you
And you said
asking
he's
me
top
what he
10. I
does
don't care.
defensively.
Like, top
Tell
10
me,
top 10 is
you
fine.
talk like
Top 10 is fine.
What does Wemby not do defensively? Tell me. Because you
What are you
watch
talking
him.
about?
You watch Wemby, right?
This
What
isn't a
doesn't he do?
defensive
No,
conversation.
no.
I don't
No,
even
but
know
I'm
what you're
asking because you're
asking me.
talking about now Tim Duncan doesn't have a DPOY. Forget about it. That's not what I'm talking
Because you're talking about
Because
his
you
top
keep
three
asking
in
me about
defensive
Wemby
talk.
and
Like,
about
I
his
don't care
defense.
about that.
Tell me, what doesn't he do?
What do you
Tell
mean,
me
what-
what
I don't-
doesn't Wemby do
in
defensively?
comparison
no,
to what?
No, you that's exactly. You kind of put that broadly on me. What
No,
doesn't he
we
do?
were talking. No, you're lying.
Answer.
We were talking about
No, I
Bam
want you to
versus
answer.
Victor. You're lying.
So, no,
I don't
I'm
know
this is a
asking
different
you-
conversation.
Hold on, no.
I don't know
King,
what-
give
I
me-
don't
give-
even
give
know
me a
what he's
second
asking me.
because he's been asking me and challenged me on some things. So I'm asking you, what doesn't Wemby do on defense?
In comparison to who?
In general.
In comparison to
No,
who?
in basketball right now, what doesn't Wemby do at an elite level defensively?
In comparison to who? Drew?
in general.
No, just in general. what
Anthony
does he
Davis
do?
to Bam.
Answer the question.
To the best defensive
He's
players
a-
in the world.
Victor is an elite rim protector.
Yes.
Elite rim deterrence.
Correct.
Um,
Which is essentially the same thing.
he's no,
No, it's
not.
not.
It's not.
Essentially.
This is what you. This is why you get
Rim
confused.
protection
it's
is
not.
the
It's not.
is the act of blocking a shot.
don't even
Rim
know why you have
deterrence and rim
deterrent-
protection
no,
is the. It's go look at a fucking Webster's thesaurus.
No, it's actually two different definitions.
Rudy
what's
Gobert
the
is a
rim
great
is altering
is
a
great
shot.
at rim
They
deterrence.
talk to me like I don't have 2 fucking degrees.
rim
I'll say
deterrence.
not in
it is
sports.
helping you because you have two things that Wemby's elite at. So I would take it.
Okay, fine.
would
I
take
mean,
it.
rim
Rim
essentially
deterrence is
deterrence.
no.
Go ahead.
It is different. Rim deterrence is the act of a player not taking a shot because you're in the paint.
If you're
Rim
deterring a shot,
protection-
aren't you also protecting the shot?
No, because
Like,
protection is the act of the ball going up and your ability to protect.
Let's not
and
get
block
caught in
that
semantics
shot.
anymore.
Regardless.
So
That's what it
continue.
is.
What isn't he? What does?
That's-
What else?
there's
What else?
difference.
What else?
Can't believe we had to fucking
No,
explain
I know.
that.
It's-
I mean,
it's-
they go hand in hand.
They're synonyms.
Is there any player who's in lead at one and bad at the other?
Miles Turner he's a great rim protector, not great at rim deterrence. He blocks a lot of shots. But
So rim protection
players-
is just about blocking
But no,
shots.
rim protect. This is where I'm like.
This is like
the-
gravity all over again.
No, this is the
No,
best
no,
example.
I got it. I just
Are you-
look
are
it
you
up.
looking it up?
We looked it up. We could just get the definition out the way. In the NBA, rim deterrence is the ability of a player to prevent opponents from attempting shots close to
What I
the
said.
rim. It's a
Okay.
combination of shot defense, which is forcing misses near the rim, and shot deterrence, which is preventing opponents from attempting shots near the rim.
That's what
Now,
deterrence means. That's the
Defension
definition.
of rim protector is a defensive player who combines shot defense and shot deterrence to prevent opponents from attempting shots near the rim.
So the definition's in the
It
definition.
is in the definition.
Yeah, so
Got it.
rim deterrence
So the name
is-
is in the definition.
So
They're
different
So the
things, though.
definition of the other word is in the definition.
Yeah, so a rim protection is at the
Regardless,
rim.
it's a
rim,
positive for Wemby if he's
it-
elite at both.
Well, obviously, you just
rim
wanted
protection,
definition to
Nothing
the
he's
two.
not a lead at on the defensive side.
Yes, but
he's
we
good at
we
switching.
That's all I'm saying.
We
But
just
that's-
explained that
so
because you
He's
guys
the
wanted
best
definition.
defensive player
I don't,
in
I
the
don't understand
world.
where that even
Wait,
came from.
my- Here's
My
the
whole
thing.
point is
I just
he's
think
the
it's a
best
step too.
defensive
I think
player.
it's a step too far saying he's the best in the world. He's top three in the world.
I'm
think
saying
it's,
he's in the
When you're
conversation. He
talking
has a
about-
seat at the
By the
when
way,
you're
you
talking
lied
about-
defensive rating. You lied.
What's their defensive rating?
No, you said he was number one. He's
I
not.
didn't say that.
Yes, you
I
did.
said go
don't
look
think he
at
was number-
defensive
he was
rating.
Defensive rating has Alfred Sengun at number 2. Do we really want to use that stat?
Go look at the
not
team
for, not
defense.
for player defensive
No, this-
rating,
no,
not
this-
player defensive rating.
Go
What-
look at
what-
team defense.
Team defense?
Uh,
I mean,
Because
Try
Rudy
defense on and
Gobert
off
gets
numbers.
fucking thrown it off team defense.
Team
That's
defense
why
is
he
Wemby.
won the
Let's be
DPOY
honest.
last year.
on and off
and fair
numbers.
enough.
No, it's on and off, but whatever.
I would say look at his on and off numbers better.
Yes, I will,
Now
'cause
here's the
we're
thing.
using
Oh, no,
defensive
nobody's discounting Wemby's defense. We know he's an elite defender.
No, you're trying
You know?
to. He kind of was. I don't think you realize that.
He's
He kinda
an elite
was.
defender.
I
The
wasn't. You're
issue
lying.
with
You only talk about shot blocking. What else do you do?
The-
Deterrence and protection.
What else,
Even
what
though
else
they're
did
the
you,
same
what else,
thing,
what else
buddy.
did you talk about?
What are we
The
talking about?
first thing
Him
you
going
kept
out on the
saying,
perimeter too.
the first thing you kept saying was he's an elite shot blocker. He's top 10
He
in shot
is.
block. That's,
He is.
that's all. Every time we
I
talk
feel like
about
we're
it.
getting stuck on that point. I think the point that I'm trying to make is the fact that Victor Wembanyama is an exceptional talent. We understand that. if you want to take Wemby over other players, that's fine. You could take anybody. You could take Tyler Hero over
right.
LeBron. I don't give a shit. You know, you could take anybody over anybody.
Shout out to the Constitution.
But based off their resume and what they've done to this point, you cannot objectively make a sound argument that Wemby's better
why
than Giannis,
did SGA just
Luka,
launch over LeBron and KD
or Jokic.
That's what happened.
Because SGA has been a first-team All-NBA teamer for the last 2 years. He's been healthy, and he's led OKC out of a rebuild.
Luka went into the top 5 essentially too, same way.
The Spurs
Back when?
are
He had
the-
more playoff moments.
The Spurs are the 15th ranked defensive unit in the league. The 15th in defensive rating.
What's the on-off with Wemby?
Let me see. I gotta go look that shit up.
I just don't. The only
Luka
thing with
For
Doncic-
Wemby,
reference,
Luka
the Heat are
Doncic,
10.
Luka Doncic in his second NBA season
The Cavs are 8.
led
Have them
the
over.
number 1 offensive rating in NBA history in his second season. That's what Luka did in his second year. And then he had playoff moments going up against a prime Kawhi Leonard
Minnesota
and played
Six.
at an elite level. Luka Doncic is top 3 in points per game.
Wemby has not
in
played
the
every
playoffs.
game, by the way.
That's fair.
Luka Doncic has made 2 conference finals. He's made an
Luka's
NBA
made it.
finals. Yes, he's
I'm
done
not-
that. So
I'm not
based off the
arguing
resume, he's better.
Victor
Like,
versus
Wemby,
Luka. That's
if you want to
ridiculous.
take them over these other
It's not
players,
really.
that's fine.
it's
but
just
that doesn't
no.
mean
I
he's
don't think
better.
any player in NBA history, remember LeBron, when I was like 7, has ever been the best player or top 3 in the world without ever making the playoffs. It's just hard
He
to
has
put
a
him
seat
there.
at the table when you were the best 2A in the game.
If you want, I think
There's
he's
no-
the 6th best player.
Brother, ain't no way somebody who hasn't even touched the playoffs got a seat at the table with the Joker, Luka, and Giannis. It just don't
SGA
even make
was
sense.
first team All NBA.
He doesn't have the seat at the table with
and
them.
he was a top 10 player immediately.
He doesn't have a seat at the
He's-
table.
well, he's
with
top
them.
because he's
10.
not.
Well,
he's
Wemby
not
is top
nearly
10.
as good as Wemby.
Wemby is top
Nobody's
10.
arguing with
Nobody-
SGA top
no,
3.
no,
No doubt,
that.
but my whole point is SGA got walked into these conversations after last year as well.
The year ended,
it took,
right?
It took 2 first All NBA, fair, 2 first All NBA to be now number
And
4.
elite in the playoffs.
Number 4. He was amazing against the Mavericks.
was elite.
OKC, good series.
You could argue he's better
Mavs,
than
he was
Luka
amazing. Oh no,
in
there's
that
no
series.
arguments. There's no arguments. It's concrete.
Yeah,
fact.
outside the last game of the
Concrete
series,
fact.
yeah, but SGA,
But
that's how great he
when
played.
you watch Wemby, and we are less than 25 games into year 2, this is the best defender in basketball, and this is one of the best offensive players.
I mean, I think within the next 2 years he'll be at that table. I can't put him there yet.
So if we're already having him at number 6 and we're
Just think you're too
24
early to the
games,
party.
he'll be there.
Because and when I'm watching, and the defensive impact is like this, and you're able to space the floor the way that he is, and he's one of the most efficient scorers at the cup, what can he do?
No, I don't think he really has
He's
any
a great
major
free throw shooter too.
weaknesses.
That's one thing that big men don't have.
It's
He's
just
a
the
great free throw
resume.
shooter.
The resume that Jokic and Giannis and all these dudes have. He doesn't come close.
I'm not going to disagree with you.
And I feel like to
all
be
I'm
at that
saying is-
table, you got to have a resume.
We're talking about a champion, and
sure.
and a generational playoff player. And he is talking about, because of 28 fucking games, the dude has a table with these guys.
I'm not saying
It doesn't make
that is
sense.
bullshit
This
because
is
again,
the stupidest shit
for
I've ever
me-
heard in my life.
for
genuinely.
me, coming into the season,
Tatum just
I
won
said
a
he was
ring.
11.
Tatum just won a ring.
Tatum's not
he
as
didn't
good
get a
as
seat at the
Wemby.
table.
He- no, he's
SGA
not as
just
good as
averaged
Wemby.
30
Tatum's
twice.
He's not as good as
SGA
Wemby.
just averaged 30
He's not
twice.
as good as
He didn't
Wemby.
get a seat at the
Tatum
table.
is not as good as Wemby.
But
not.
he's still
They're not.
Wemby. Like, what are we?
No.
Like, no, you don't
He
just
had
get a
the
seat at
most
table,
points in a
bro.
Game 7 in
Like,
NBA
no.
history.
Wemby
He's
never had a
amazing
50 ball
player.
there.
This is
Not a
this-
game 7.
We can't even say he never, because he's never played. He has no game. If I type in right now, Victor Wembanyama playoff game, I cannot find anything. I
So
can't.
solely because he has no playoffs. That's it.
That's
You're robbing him of his abilities. At that
robbing
point.
him. No,
Yes.
Drew, that's been a
He has
thing.
to prove
in
it.
the
Objectively
NBA.
watching him, he is one of the most talented,
He has
arguably
to
the most
prove
talented
it.
in the league.
Drew, when Michael Jordan was playing and when LeBron was
It
playing,
didn't take no fucking playoffs for people to realize Michael Jordan.
When Michael Jordan was playing, first of all, Michael Jordan made it his first year.
And
So
he
yeah, you're right.
averaged.
It didn't take them that because he already made it and he played great when he first got there. But I say all that to say, when Michael Jordan and LeBron James got into the league, it took people until about year 2 or 3 to understand. We may not say it publicly, but we know they're the best player in the league. MJ made the playoffs his first couple years. He had the 60 ball against Boston. LeBron, he made the playoffs year 2.
The most points ever, by the way.
LeBron, he made the playoffs year 2. You saw it. Just said there's a certain part in the NBA. Shaq, dominant, made the playoffs. I think year 1. There's a certain place in the NBA where we know, but in order to get into that conversation, you have to do it on the biggest stage in the NBA. For the NFL, the biggest stage is what? The Super Bowl, the playoffs, whatever it is, big time games on Thursday. For the NBA, the biggest stage is the playoffs, While we was waiting to give SGA the nod was what? We had to see him in the playoffs.
I didn't
see
need
him
to
do
wait.
it. You may not have, but that's just a universal thing in the NBA. You have to wait. You cannot put him at the
I
seat
also
at the
think
table.
the SGA conversation was we have to wait to put SGA in like the top 5. Wemby is
Exactly.
like the
Wemby-
best
no,
in the
Wemby's the
world.
top
It's
10
a
player.
different, it's a different criteria.
Nobody,
put him at 6. I don't
nobody
care.
is trying to
I'd have him at
disrespect
6.
Wemby.
When
I
you
think
are
this is the
arguably
ultimate
the
respect
best
to him.
two-way in the game, you deserve a
Luka's
seat at
been
the table.
arguably the best offensive player for like 5 years.
He has, and
So
that's
what,
why
like-
he's been in top 3
So
conversations.
why is Wemby based off 80 games already in a conversation with Luka? Mind you, Luka
Because
being
the
arguably
defense is generationally
Luka
great,
being
and the
arguably
offense
one of
is
the
really
best
great.
players in the playoffs for 4 straight years.
He's amazing.
How do you even sit there and look at the game log and think
Because there's
this
two
guy,
sides to the
even the
basketball.
Joker, even okay, so Giannis has
Oh, absolutely.
Since you
No
love
doubt,
Defensive
Giannis
Player
is
of the Year
there.
award, Giannis
Yes.
won it back to back.
Incredible.
And then he was an MVP.
the
He's
same
done
year.
that
Yes.
for about 6 or 7 years.
and a 50 ball.
Then
in
a young
closeout
man
finals.
who's amazing, generational, unicorn, comes in. He does this for 30 because you didn't have him in the conversation like you had him in top 10, but you have him in top 3. So now you have him in there right now. So he's done this for 30 games.
Yes.
And all of a sudden, he's in there with Giannis.
Yes.
That doesn't make sense. You're
No,
like,
it makes
just
crystal
it
clear
doesn't make sense.
when you watch him and you
doesn't
understand
make
what
sense.
he's doing on a night in
It
night out
doesn't-
basis.
I
On the
just-
defensive side, we're talking about the best in the world.
You're too early
and
to the party, brother.
No, I'm not. You're late. That's the sad thing.
I won't be late.
Watch the game. It's obvious. You don't need to ask me. You need to start going home and watching.
That doesn't
It's
even make
simple.
sense. It's like it just doesn't. We're talking about 2 guys, the Joker and Giannis. They're
Yes.
top 15 ever.
Hey.
Yo, bro, you know how stupid this is? Bro, I kid you not, Drew. Like I kid you not. We're talking about 2 players right now.
So
They're top 15 ever.
uh-huh.
And a dude who's played 30 games in a year. Mind you, he's been amazing. Yeah, he's at the table.
He is.
Mind you, these 2 dudes haven't lost a fucking beat. They've actually got better.
Giannis
better.
got slighted more than any all-time great after
You're sliding
last
him
year.
right now.
And I don't.
You are
I
sliding
don't-
him right
and
now.
all I'm
You're
saying.
sliding the Joker too. It's
all
pretty
I'm
embarrassing.
saying is, he's got a seat at the table.
I
when
get
you're
you a slight
arguably
for
the
Luka.
best two-way in the
You don't
league.
like Luka. I get that.
When
So
you're
is he
argu-
number 3? Number 1? Number 2?
No, he's
Well, yeah,
3
what
right now
spot?
for me.
What's
He's 3 right now for me.
so after this playoffs, if he kills, he could take whichever one spot.
It depends.
Yo,
I think Yoke right now is number 1 pretty comfortably until he fucks up, which I don't see happening.
well, he's been.
But
one
when
for
you're
a while.
arguably the best two-way in the league, which Wemby 1,000% is, you have a seat at the table.
so who
with
was the
me.
best 2-way in the league before Wemby? It was Giannis.
It's
right?
Giannis. And
Who'd you
he-
have as the best player in the league last year?
Yoke.
Interesting.
I kept it consistent. I think Yoke, especially considering playoff success,
Interesting. Very interesting.
you have to have that in account.
Wait, say that again.
You have to keep that in
No,
account.
so what'd you say before that?
Jokic,
Playoff what?
Yes,
Playoff what?
he has a championship.
Right.
And on top of it, his numbers in the regular season are godly.
And
you
the
have to
numbers in the
take that
playoffs,
into
right?
account.
You have to take that's all I wanted. You have to take that into
well,
account, right?
when we're talking about Yoke and Giannis,
Well, why we can't do that with Victor and Luka? Why do you just
because
dismiss
when I
that?
watch Wemby,
So why is it a
defensively-
watching thing with them 2?
Because Yoke and Giannis are more accomplished, far more than Luke and the rest of the league.
Luka is more accomplished than Victor.
But talent-wise, I look at defense and
Why,
offense.
why,
it's not-
why are you changing
because
the
talent-wise,
criteria?
I'm still saying Yoke and Giannis are better.
Talent-wise, Luka's better.
Than who?
Victor. Yo, bro, come on.
Honestly, I'm not gonna exaggerate it. Talent-wise, he might be more talented than Giannis. I don't know if he's more talented than Giannis.
I don't think I've ever seen a player
feel bad for
lead a
Wemby.
team to the NBA Finals that you thought it wasn't gonna make the playoffs. By the way,
Who?
the
Luka.
Mavericks and Luka.
He did just do that.
Well, they also made moves at the trade
Oh yeah,
deadline.
that weren't needle moving moves in your opinion.
No, I really was high on Gafford.
All right, but
you can't say
okay,
that.
You still thought they'd lose to the Clippers. They'd lose to the OKC
OKC, I
Thunder.
did.
We are
Right.
I did, after game 1, say they were going to win the series
I've never
against
seen
the Wolves.
I've never seen a player lead his team to the NBA Finals,
got dropped in
and
the
the
list.
PR gets worse for him.
If we're gonna
when
be
he
transparent-
he was taking pain-killing injections in Game 3 of the NBA Finals
Oh
to
my
play
God! Fucking
through
miss
injuries.
me.
What do you want the
Miss
reporting?
Me with this bullshit.
Do you want the reporting?
I
I
don't
want a
care.
video of him injecting himself. with
Because
some
how
shit.
the fuck did he suddenly Wolves? Oh, best brand of basketball, and now we're back to playing. Okay, decent.
Can I ask you a
basketball.
question?
Riv, let me ask you this before you ask that
Because
question.
I think I have a
Riv, in the NBA Finals,
was
was Isaiah Thomas's ankle broken?
yes, it was broadcast.
He still
by the
played
way.
well, right?
Oh,
So you
100%.
can still play well with adrenaline
Yeah.
in the moment,
Yeah, they
right?
shot him up, and he had
Would
to-
you
yeah.
ever say Isaiah Thomas wasn't actually hurt?
No, I'm still saying
Okay,
hurt.
Luka was
Did I
actually
say he
hurt.
wasn't
It was
hurt?
visibly.
Luka had
He
a
was
right
limping.
knee
Did Isaiah
sprain.
Thomas play in the Olympics 2 weeks later?
Well, he got banned from it. They didn't. They didn't. Drew, who's more talented, Giannis or Embiid?
Embiid.
You think Embiid's more talented? Why don't you have Embiid over Giannis?
because Embiid is not available, and he's hurt, and he's not good.
So I'm just talking about like just straight basketball stuff.
That's really what it is. And
So who's more
defensively,
talented,
Giannis is
Embiid
better.
or
But you don't think Embiid is on that same talent as Victor, just in terms of just offensive?
Not defensively, I haven't seen a player this great.
What about offensively?
Offensively, Embiid has everything you need.
So why don't you put him over Giannis? You don't care about playoffs. Like, it doesn't matter. And in the regular
Talent.
season, we can talent. You just said Embiid is higher than Giannis.
Yes.
So why don't you
I
put
think
Embiid over
offensively,
Giannis?
defensively, no.
Interesting.
Giannis is one of the better defenders we've seen too.